guys, it's Tanya with Scraptastic Creations. Today I'm going to do a 2-page layout featuring the exclusive Daisy paper collection by Close to My Heart. I love these greens and pinks together. This screams springtime, St. Patrick's Day to me. This floral print is probably my favorite, and I really love this gingham print and this stripe print. I think these are super pretty. This paper collection is available now through the end of March or until supplies run out. I'm going to bring in this sticker collection to my layout, and I'm going to use this title Sweet Moments, only I'm not going to make it my main title. I'm going to use this as a subtitle. These stickers are a real high quality cardstock stickers, so they are fantastic for embellishing your layouts or your cards. So let me show you the photos that I'm going to be bringing in today. So I want to scrapbook these photos of when we adopted our puppies. I thought these photos would be really great with this paper collection because of the colors in my photos, especially like the greens that I have from when we brought them home. So this was a really sweet memory for my family, so I thought that this would be perfect to document with this paper collection. I brought in 2 Versamat since we're doing a 2-page layout, and I went ahead and put 2 white sheets of paper down, and I put a little bit of glue in the corners to prevent that from moving around. No big deal. It will not stick to your mat or your paper. It will rub right off. And I also cut the first pattern piece of paper and about 10 by 10 and stuck that down as well just to prevent it from moving around so we could work. I went ahead and did a little bit of ink distressing around the edges, and I will go ahead and show you how to do that. I did mat my photos on black cardstock, and I double matted them. I did white cardstock and then black cardstock. I am planning to use a lot of photos, so I'm really excited to show you how I'm going to do that. So I want to bring in this green piece of paper here, and I'm going to put 3 photos down on there. And I absolutely loved this flower print, so I'm bringing this in, and I did dovetail this, and the way you do that is just kind of line it up on your mat and cut it. I did about 5/8 of an inch up right in the middle, and then just took and cut my scissors from up to that where I cut it to the point, and it usually comes out pretty even that way. I'm going to carry this paper over to this side, and I also went ahead and dovetailed both ends of that as well. It was just a little bit so I could bring it over. I then wanted to bring in this zip strip. I thought this was super pretty, and so I'm going to bring this in as well. And then I want to bring it in on the second page. And then I decided to cut the second zip strip on one of the other tops of the other page and bring that in because I am distressing in black and I kind of wanted to accent in the black. So I'm going to put this one up here. And then I also framed my mats in black, so that helped add a little accent to that as well. So I'm going to bring in 3 photos here, only I'm not going to bring in 3 photos. I'm going to bring in 2 photos, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with the 3rd photo. I really want this layout to be kind of pretty interactive since I'm adding so many photos, and I'm obviously not going to add, 20 photos right here, but I am using a lot of photos, so I'm going to bring them in discreetly and in a fun way. So I'm going to bring in these photos. There's a funny story. When we went to the rescue place to adopt these puppies, we went to get this one, and while we were there, this one, he literally chose my husband. My husband didn't choose him. He chose my husband, and then my husband was all done. He was like, oh, what we need too, he needs a friend. We gotta bring him home too. And so it's up to you. You make that choice. And like, yeah, right. It was up to me. So it's funny. So I got my little Uhtred and Wrangler, and I just love these guys. I literally adore them. So I'm going to bring in this stencil pack card front pack 1, and I'm going to bring in these like kind of swooshes. They kind of remind me a little bit of like flower petals, and I suppose you could use them as water splashes or something like that. I'm not sure if you can, that's picking up very well, but I'm going to bring it in so my subtitle over here has something to rest on. And then I want to bring it in here because I want to build a cluster over here with some flowers, and I want a little something in the background. I'm going to bring this in kind of at an angle, and I'm going to bring it in it's just going to be peeking around. So I'm not going to do the whole thing. And I'm going to bring in my ballerina ink. And then I'm going to use my blending brush. I absolutely love these blending brushes. They're so soft, and you get such a smooth blend when you use these. So I could mask this off, but I'm not going to be doing a lot of inking. I'm just going to do a little bit of inking. So I'm really not worried about masking it off. But if you feel more comfortable doing that, by all means, I would do that. So I want to add in a little bit of black shimmer brush down here and over here. I wanted to bring in more of the stickers off the sticker sheet, and there was a ton of stickers that I just think that are really pretty and will go with this layout, and I wanted to be able to use those up. I also, just so you know, I did take the sticky with my anti-static pouch. I did take the sticky off the back of those, and I do that so I can move my stickers around and play with them, and I pop some of them up and just kind of work them out how I want them. I also wanted to bring in the Daisy thin cut, and this is a really cool flower that you can build. I thought that would be really pretty here, and I want to have one of the main ones right here. And so that you just kind of got like 3 pieces there plus your center, and you just kind of build that however you want. You can use all the pieces or some of the pieces, and I kind of stagger it around, like in the kind of in the middle. I offset it, and then I just take this one and just put it down, honestly, and you glue it together. And I take my piercing tool and I bend up all my ends to kind of bring my flower to life here, because I just don't want to stick a flat thing down. I like to have a lot of dimension, and I'm okay with that. It adds a lot of character to my layouts, and this will not flatten in my book. It just stays popped up like that when I do that. So I went ahead and made one already, and I've got that right here. So I want to put that over here. I want to build kind of a cluster over here of embellishments. And then I'm also going to bring in, to add more embellishments, I'm going to bring in the stamp to the Daisy stamp. This stamp is so pretty. Life is beautiful. You're amazing. I just love these flowers here. So I stamped some of those in white. I stamped them in intense black on white cardstock. And then I went ahead and colored those in with my Tri-Blend markers. And these are the markers that I used. I love these markers. They blend very smoothly. I just love these markers. And I also brought in my blender when I worked in some of these colors to color in Ballerina and Flamingo. So I kind of want to work these in like so, and then I'm going to have one back here behind this subtitle. And then I stamped this one in Flamingo and Ballerina, and I'm going to put this up here. So let's build these clusters. I'm gonna bring in this tag set right here. It's the buildable tags. And I'm actually gonna cut these tags, and I'm gonna cut this little reinforcer here, and I'm gonna cut this plate right here. And that's gonna give me this cute little pocket. And I went ahead and cut out this heart tag, and this is off of the all-purpose tag. I absolutely love tags. You can do so many things, add so many embellishments, and give your titles, give your embellishment clusters a place to rest, add additional photos. These add a lot of interest. So I buy all the tags that we come out with, and I always have those on hand. So I cut 2 of those, and I want to put one back here. So I'm going to kind of have him peeking out there. And then we'll play with this a little bit more. And then I'm probably going to bring this one up here underneath this frame here. If I can get that. There. Definitely recommend always having tools. So we'll kind of put this one kind of so I'll play with that kind of like around here. And then I'm going to add one of these hearts over here. And then I'll bring another one. So I'm kind of building that there, drawing the green across, the little gig print there. And then these were the tags that I said I cut as well. And I cut 2 of them. And you're like, well, why is that one longer than that one? Well, when I put it in my embossing machine, I left the ending out of the embossing machine, and then I rolled it and stopped, and then I turned it and then cut it a little longer to where I could make my tag longer. That's like a great thing to do for like journaling. You can put your tag down and put a bunch of journaling there. But I wanted that because I wanted this one to come further down, and then I could just easily stick this one in. And I got a little bit of black, but it's no big deal because we are going to cover that with a photo. So I'll have those peeking out, and those will be able to come in and out. I'm going to cut my plastic sleeve. I'm going to cut it from here to here, or actually I'll probably cut it from here to here. And I'm just going to put a little circle here and a little circle here. We'll use like my piercing tool or a little circle punch, and I'm going to punch that, and then I'm going to get my ruler and a mat, and I'll just I'll just use my scissors or my X-Acto knife and put a little slit in my memory protector, and these will be outside of it, so they'll slide in and out, and you won't have to take your layout out to be able to see those photos or play with it. So so there's that. And then I want to build these tags now. I have these tags in here. So you're probably wondering why I am putting this here if I have those tags here. So I came up with this idea that I wanted to put their adoption papers in this layout. So I made their adoption papers, and I shrunk them down, the original copies, to this little thing, and those are going to go in here, and I'm going to have like a little tag thing on top of it with some ribbon hanging, so you'll be able to pull those out. So there'll be these little tiny adoption papers of both these guys, and that's what I'm going to stick in here. And this as well is going to be interactive, so that can pull out and you can play with that as well, or look at that. I thought that would be a neat, fun feature. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these embellishments down, and then we'll be right back to work on our title and a little bit more embellishing. Okay, so I thought for my title, I was trying to think of what I could put to go with this sweet moments and something to do with adoption. And I went back and forth with, you know, puppy love, which I'm definitely going to create a layout with puppy love, but it won't be this one. So what I came up with was, I adopted these guys, so I wanted to say forever. So what I came up with was forever. Instead of forever, I've got forever. And I thought that was like a fun little play on words, and I just thought that that would be cute, and I liked the way that looked right here in this area. And so I used the Moxie alphabet, which has a coordinating thin cut and a stamp set, so you can do all kinds of fun things with this. You can shadow it or use a different color in the background and then on top. So I thought that that was a super fun alphabet to bring in. And then I doubled these, so I cut these out twice and laid them up just to have them stand up a little bit more without having to put foam tape underneath of them. So let me get those glued down, and then I'll be right back and show you what else we're going to do. Okay, so I want to add some twine to my tags, and I'm going to just add some black twine that I had in my stash. So I'm going to real quickly just stick my twine in there and make a loop. Nothing fancy, but I thought that this would be a fun little effect for this tag. And I don't want it too long because I don't want it hanging too far up off my page protector. You can do that if you like that. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't want that for this particular layout. So I'm just going to do the same with this one. I'm sticking them in, and I'm just going to do a loop and trim it off. So that easy. And these add for like a reinforcer here. So when you pull it in and out, it prevents it from ripping. So here you got these fun little tags right there, and I will have my other one come at my other ones coming out of here, my little adoption things. I'm not going to put those on right now, but I will have photos that you can look at on my Facebook page. So I'm going to take my page protector and stick my layout in there. If you've enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe, hit the like button. It tells YouTube that you like these kind of videos, and they'll continue to share my videos. So I am going to just take my piercing tool, and I got my layout all the way in, and I still am going to edge distress around it, but I'm going to take my piercing tool, and I'm going to come right over here where my edge of that is, and I'm going to put a hole, and I'm going to make sure that hole is pretty thick. And the reason to do that is because when I cut this, when I slit this, I need a stopper. I don't want it to keep slicing, but these are very thick, high quality page protectors. I've not found any that I like any better than this. This is probably the top of the line. So I will buy no other page protectors ever in my life while I scrapbook. So I don't think it would tear anyways, but I just want to have that extra precaution. Okay, so I have a few more things that I want to do to this layout. I'm gonna add these liquid pearls, but before I do that, I'm going to edge distress around the outside of that because I don't want to smush my my liquid pearls. I'm gonna give them time to dry. And they don't take a lot of time to dry, but they will, you know, they will take a good amount of time to dry. You know, you need 20 minutes, half an hour. And I like to leave it longer before I stick it in my page protector, just so I don't wreck that. Okay, so I got that done. I did not put any black ink in the middle because, like I said, I want this layout to look like it's a one continuing, it just flows like one continuing layout. And you see how when I added that, it drew the layout, it kind of drew it in, gave it that finishing kind of closed off look. So that's why I wanted to edge distress around that with that black ink. I do want to bring in this jelly roll pen. This is a white jelly roll pen. I love this, especially if you make a little mistake when you're coloring. You can go ahead and kind of color right over that in the white, and it's like you never made that mistake. And I just want to add a little bit of highlighting on my flowers with it. Just a little tiny touch. So I thought that would be really cute to do. And so then I want to bring in my liquid pearls, and I'm thinking that one right here on top of this green heart would look super cute. I'm gonna do probably okay, so I like the way that looks. I think it gave it a finished look, and I like all the little liquid pearls. Now, I was very impatient about going to pick this up, and I smeared my black pearl that I had over here, so I went ahead and had to add these additional little embellishments in to hide my smear. So be careful not to do that. But here's a closer look at what those clusters look like. I'll have these put in here when in my photos. So I hope you enjoyed that. Again, if you enjoyed that, please hit the like button and the subscribe button. Until next time. That looks pretty good. Let me give you a close-up of that. Oops. Wow.